What happens if you have one less chromosome? Having an abnormal number of chromosomes is known as aneuploidy. Down's syndrome, which is caused by an extra copy of chromosome 21, is an example of an aneuploidy in humans. It's also known as trisomy 21. Edwards syndrome and Pato syndrome, known as trisomy 18 and trisomy 13, are other examples of chromosomal duplications. These conditions usually do not result in a live birth, and upwards of 90% of children born with trisomy 18 or 13 do not make it past their first year. So clearly, altering chromosomal number can have enormous consequences. Having only one copy of a chromosome is known as monosomy. There is only one viable human monosomy of the X chromosome, known as Turner syndrome. Since there is no Y chromosome present, these babies are considered female. They are infertile and often have a shorter stature, kidney problems, and learning disabilities. But you can survive and live a relatively normal life with only one sex chromosome. So how is this possible, if getting rid of any other chromosome results in a very early death in utero? Well, you see, males are also born with only one X chromosome. The Y chromosome, sorry, guys, is a tiny scrap of genetic material with fewer than 100 protein-coding genes on it. The most important gene being SRY, which triggers the embryo to develop male sex characteristics. In fact, it's slowly degenerating over time. The X chromosome, in contrast, contains about 800 protein-coding genes. So males are perfectly capable of surviving with only one X chromosome. And in female cells, in fact, only one X chromosome is active. The other is inactivated, with only a few genes expressed from it. This is called dosage compensation, and ensures that females don't express too much of the X chromosome's gene products. And this also explains why females can still survive with only one sex chromosome. There are some effects from the genes that should be expressed from the inactive X chromosome, but it's not a lethal condition. So in summary, if you have one fewer of any of the autosomes, chromosomes 1 through 22, you die pretty early on in development. If you have one X chromosome and no Y, you survive with minor disabilities. In most cases, you don't survive long enough to be born, usually not even long enough beyond conception for the pregnancy to be recognized. The only exception is when an individual has only one X chromosome, instead of the usual XX or XY. In most cases, this also results in prenatal death, but some survive to be born, often with surprisingly few adverse consequences. Such individuals are females with Turner syndrome. They are of below average height, and, without medical intervention, do not menstruate and are infertile. They have increased risk of a heart defect, coarctation of the aorta, but if this does not occur or is successfully treated, may live as long as anyone else, though they do have increased risk for cardiovascular disease in general, and should have frequent medical checkups. They usually have a normal overall IQ, though specific spatial and mathematical difficulties are frequent. By contrast, embryos with only a Y chromosome will die soon after fertilization. Human cells normally contain 23 pairs of chromosomes, for a total of 46 chromosomes in each cell. A change in the number of chromosomes can cause problems with growth, development, and function of the body's systems. These changes can occur during the formation of reproductive cells, eggs and sperm, in early fetal development, or in any cell after birth. A gain or loss of chromosomes from the normal 46 is called aneuploidy. Monosomy, or the loss of one chromosome in cells, is another kind of aneuploidy. Mono is Greek for one. People with monosomy have one copy of a particular chromosome in cells instead of the normal two copies. Turner syndrome is a condition caused by monosomy. Women with Turner syndrome usually have only one copy of the X chromosome in every cell, for a total of 45 chromosomes per cell. Nothing good, but it depends on which chromosome. Women who are missing an X chromosome can do without it. Since women's second X chromosome aren't in use by default, they become inactive bar bodies. But missing a chromosome usually results in death before you can even exit the womb.